Hello, this is my Gerber Strongarm. It's a good knife. It's a bit of a sharpened pry bar, and right now it ain't even really sharp. It's pretty dull. It's got a very worn out, very rudimentary edge that prefers to tear the paper rather than slice it. And in general terms, the only cutting it's doing is because of some pretty high geometry I've put on there for previous tests. And the edge, I think we'll find, is pretty much dull. So this is BD1 steel. I thought it would be interesting for me to sharpen it, show you the progressions. This time we're going to stone sharpen. I'm getting my head around stone sharpening. I've been doing it for 10 years and I think I'm only just starting to get okay at it. So I thought it might be interesting to show you dull, then mid-sharpened, then sharpened, and then stropped, and see how it progresses. Hopefully it won't be too long a video. Hopefully you find it interesting. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so first port of call, we'll see how it looks. We'll get focused on that edge. Zoom in just a little bit to get focused. There we go. Alrighty, so that's the tall part of the edge. It was like, I think I'd put like a 17 degree on it or something silly like that to do an edge test with. We'll start down the back end. So this is like the heel of the knife. This is before it even becomes an edge there. So that's like the unsharpened part. And then this sort of like where the sharpening begins, the grind, like the plunge, I guess. And then down onto the edge. A little bit scratchy looking for sure. All the way down. Doesn't look too terrible under the micro, but it's definitely not sharp in real life, and it'll be interesting to see the progression of the edge over sharpening. I think that line there is like a rolled over edge or something, like it's been just pushed over, probably hit one too many, probably hit the dirt one too many times through a cardboard box or whatever. This is really just a rough use, kind of almost garden knife really for me. Oh, there's a little hiccup there. Either some crap stuck in the steel or some chunks taken out of it. There we go, getting around towards the tip now. Wiry burr from perhaps last time, just still hanging in there. Alrighty. So it doesn't look as bad as like that Falcon Even kitchen knife from last time, but it's still not great. I'll see if I can zoom in I'll find a really rough spot and I'll try to zoom in on it like as close as I can get. This is that really thin line there, so yeah, so it's like that's your average knock or chip out, I guess, just there. At any rate, I'm going to be interested to see how, when I go back to the 50, how this looks once I've done some bench stone sharpening. So I'm going to be using old-fashioned, like Uncle Randy would have used, old-fashioned bench stones. Well, they're Japanese Waterstone, so you know, a little bit more ethnic than Uncle Randy would probably use. They ain't no Arkansas stones, that's for sure. So, interested to see how this all tidies up after a bit of stone sharpening. So let's get to it. Enough talking. Sharpening time. Alrighty, so this is my Waterstone kit. This was actually my old Grandpa Martin's Waterstones. He used to make furniture, but I think he got these because he was using chisels. He was trying to make his own violin. I'm not sure how, I can't remember how he went with that. But yeah, very sort of particular man, and basically an adherent to the buy once, cry once methodology for sure. All of his stuff was good, but he didn't have much of it. So sort of a pretty admirable character trait, really, in terms of perhaps the rest of us just overbuying. Perhaps I could take a page out of his book one of these days. All right, so tighten these guys down like so, and then you've got your Waterstone sitting on the top there, and these just soak perpetually in the water. You just change the water out every so often, and you know, the water's not, you wouldn't want to drink a glass of this stuff, but definitely do a good job of making a nice soaked Waterstone. And so then I'm just going to, I might even use the Sharpie method, maybe, just colour this guy in, see if I can do some basic Sharpie removal. It might help me in my novice abilities. Yeah, don't make this out to be I certainly don't make this out to be a sharpening tutorial really. I'm really just learning this style of sharpening myself, but I'm getting better and better at it, so we'll see. Let's find the angle and get to it. mistakes. See, stumbled forward. That's a newbie rookie mistake there. The bench is a bit wobbly. That's interesting. Alrighty, let's see. Yeah, I'm definitely wiping off the Sharpie, that's for sure. Except for at the tip, got to figure out the tip angle. It's always trickiest moving it around and keeping it straight, you know, and keeping that tip there. Come with me and we'll learn how to sharpen like your Uncle Randy. I honestly don't know how long to do this for. It's easier with a Scandi. I've just been really sharpening convexes and Scandis up till now. And I guess we'll just test it from time to time, huh? Learning together with Pete. I feel like my angle's pretty solid. Still the tip's not great. I truly intend on showing this as a non-glamorous process fraught with trial and error. One of the best things I ever really got my head around with knives was there's not really a huge amount you can do on any manual system that you can't undo if you fuck it up. So like, always approach the motorized systems with a bit of caution, like your work sharps and even your Tormex. Because they do a lot more RPMs than my hands are doing right now. But things like this, even when you do flop forward, hiccup, ruin the edge, have to start again, you can sort that out easy enough. It's frustrating, but it's all part of learning that English. All part of the learning. Ah, see, I did it again. See, that's probably just backstepped my edge a little bit. So there we go. Definitely ain't perfect, and I don't intend to seem like I am. Warts and all, maybe. Warts and all sharpening this time, hey? How's that sound? Back to the other side. Try not to flop forward. Alrighty, I feel like I'm getting all the way to the edge. I feel like it anyway. I'm going to do a little bit more because I just want to really get some practice in, and it was pretty dull, so I want to make sure I get all that manky old steel off. These kind of strokes. Alright, let's go and see how that looks under the microscope. I got no idea. Really am in the dark here. It might look awful. When I put the microscope on it, it might just show me a picture of a cat's arsehole. Who knows? Let's have a look. Alright, let's have a look. So I'm not expecting much, but it's a 700 grit edge. It's definitely sharper, definitely feels sharper. It's making a slice, you know? So let's see how it looks. Definitely needs a bit of work, but that's what the next grit's for, I suppose. So let's get this guy out, get it onto camera mode. Okay, and see how my handiwork looks. Oh, okay. I reckon that looks pretty neat. What do you reckon? It's definitely convex. See, there's that little knock there. See how that's gone a bit? That's cool. A little bit of burring. Burring. Up here is a little bit more burry. Going more towards the tip now. A little bit more to go back maybe. I'll revisit that. The next sharpen, this is going around to the tip now. Next sharpen is going to have a bit more of that 700 stone, and then going to move on to the 1000 grit stone. This is the very tip we're approaching here. There we are. That is a well-used tip. All right, that's, you know, better, right? No, just imagining it. Let's go do more 700 grit and then more 1,000, and we'll just check in after the next 1,000, so this video isn't a bazillion years long. Slides back in there to soak ever more in the water until I'm ready for it. Once again, now this side, one side's got a bit of a chip in it, yeah, so try to use the other side. This is a 1000 grit Besta brand Japanese Waterstone. Wash some of the last knives schmutz off it. This is much more of a polishing grit, so let's see how this looks.
Well, this whole maneuver is going to cost us 51 years.
Ah, fuck. It's one of those real shit things that happens. I'll see if I can hopefully just keep it up. Hopefully that means I don't have to go back a step. Let's feel it. Feels okay. Fingers crossed anyway. That's one of the trickiest things about flat stone sharpening, is when you have a quick little bloop and you shit the bed on the edge. For my guiding, right, I'm just using my thumb and just feeling like about the same amount of thumb meat is under the spine for the whole time. The Waterstone's quite smooth, so it doesn't hurt my thumb. That's what I'm doing. And I know I'm probably micro-convexing this knife, but I don't care. So generally while I'm sharpening it, I guess I'm doing this kind of pinch grip here. So my thumb has about the same amount of thumb underneath the knife, and just by like tactile memory, I can sort of keep that about right? And then my finger here is just kind of skimming, ensuring that the knife edge is tracking against that stone, right? I don't know if this is the best way to do it. There's probably a lot of ways to do it.
Let me know in the comments if you've got a better way.
But it seems to be working for me pretty well right now. Huh? Alrighty, I'm going to be really interested to see that slow-mo footage and see how much of a complete fucking Gumby I look like doing that sharpening and how wobbly my hands actually are. But for now, let's have a look at the edge and see how that 1000 grit sharpening looks. You know what? I reckon that looks pretty nice. And, you know, I'm slightly biased because I'm sort of hinging my pride as a knife sharpener on this. No, not really. I truly have no ego about my stone sharpening, but it looks pretty tidy, don't you reckon? Contrast between the black desk underneath it. Pretty much a straight line all the way down there. Some you can tell where the convexing is happening a little bit more than others. Oh, not you, desk. I want to focus on you, edge. So the way the light waves over it is definitely the bend in the vex, the convex of the steel, but that overall edge looks pretty good. It was a bit rougher towards the tip, so it gets the tip. I reckon I've done a pretty good job. And there's the tip. The tip's always the bit that you miss. That's the hardest part I find, is when you need to kind of curve the knife on the stone. never works. But let's quickly see how it's going to cut. Paper. Not stropped or anything, just as it came off the stones, wiped down from the water. Oh yeah, that sounds alright. Definitely a bit like whoosh-y still, but definitely slicing the paper. I reckon the stone has done an okay job for me, who's not particularly skilled. And I think the strop is going to really help it out from this point on, because that strop it's a Tormex strop, it's automatic, it's got the 3000 grit compound loaded into it. Got a good feeling. Let's do that and then check back in on this. Here's my Tormex. This white stuff here is the compound. It's got plenty on there, so I don't need to apply anymore. I'm going to give it a good old run through of this on this strop, just to really neaten those scratchy bits up. Just as, you know, with free hand, eyeballing it, nothing, you know, I'm not using any angle finders or anything like that. This will do that last tiny bit of, it still does remove a little bit of the steel, just a tiny bit, but generally just going to be deburring, smoothing out some of those, no doubt, many imperfections that are to be seen on that knife edge, given that I am a relative journeyman at best at this sort of sharpening. Actually quite excited to see how sharp this is now. And this is a knife that's never been, or really going to be, particularly sharp. I'm never going to be using this to make rosetted radishes or anything like that. But let's see. Sorry for the old hand cam. Oh. Gonzo journalism. Right, so a bit of paper there. Much nicer. As I always say, a strop really is about 80% of knife maintenance, it feels. If you just always get back to a level where the strop brings it back, then you're laughing. Oh yeah, to the finger, that's a very sharp edge, and I'm happy with it. Let's see how it looks. Oh, lift the camera on again. Water Wally. Yeah, it's a bit sparklier, a bit shinier. Turn the light down maybe. Someone suggested last time just to turn the light down just a little bit. There we go. Oh yeah, looks better. This is where the blade begins. It's where that part is where they haven't done anything to it. Ugh. Itchy nose. Righto. Moving down, down, down. It's kind of backwards. Sorry about my steady hands. Definitely see there is a bit of vexing going on. Convexing as well as vexing of my mind and my skills. But yeah, a little bit of schmutz there maybe, a bit of either compound or leather or something. That is it. That is how it looks. So what we've basically got is just a now stone sharpened edge. Don't know what degrees you'd say it was, but the secondary bevel is a 17 degree. I remember I put that edge on, it looked ridiculous. It was like almost scandifying the knife. A little bit of, you can tell I've just kind of almost V'd it there, just right on the very edge. Just from my wandering hands. And there we are. So yeah, overall, I still find it a more difficult sharpening method than obviously any of the machine-assisted methods. I find it most difficult doing the tips, swinging around, getting the tip level. And also I find myself every now and then just having a complete like motor skits out and flopping forward and grinding the whole edge against the blade like parallel. So that's not good when that happens, but I feel like in this instance I have put a pretty okay edge on this knife with the stone, showing that it is indeed possible. Look, see, this is a bit of tip that I've missed, you can tell. See? It goes from being nice to see how it diagonally goes down. Yeah, it's how embarrassing. Oh, I'll never live this down. Goodness me, don't tell Michael Christie. He will embarrass me publicly for this. He will shame me. He will make me look foolish, and quite rightly. Anyway, that is the knife, and that is the sharpening video for the day. I hope you've enjoyed. I enjoyed getting my Gerber Strongarm back out and putting an edge on it and making it a nice slicing knife again until the next time I put it into a steel drum and pry the lid off. Something stupid that I do with this from time to time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next film. Bye-bye.